Even when the Nationals get pretty quality starts from their starting pitchers, it was not enough against the LA Dodgers. There are some questionable decisions throughout the series, but ultimately, the Dodgers, they're the better team.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals for all your latest Nationals news and notes. Make sure to check us out over on Twitter. Of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts. And later on in today's show, the Nationals are headed to San Diego. And in years past, when we play the Padres in San Diego, crazy things happen. Whether it's Jerks and Profar dominating the Nationals last year, having benches clearing brawls, having Keibert Ruiz get in Profar's face, a lot of different things have happened. And also back in 2021, that was really the end of the Nationals contending when you had a reliever hit a grand slam off Max Scherzer. That was one of the lowest points of the past few seasons. So we'll have that discussion for you. And maybe this time around, the Nationals, they have their highest point in 2025 in San Diego. Maybe. We'll never know. Second segment, we have a Nats stock report. Who has been up and who has been down? That's your latest individual performances for your Washington Nationals. And boy, there were some good performances these past few days. So we'll have that discussion for you a little later on in the program today. But we start off discussing the Dodgers series. And let's just be honest, guys. The Nationals won one in LA. The Nationals have been one of the worst teams in all of baseball the past few weeks. I'll take it. I'll tell you why, but today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That is FanDuel.com. A lot of people are upset with the Nationals. They have won basically 2 games over the last 2+ weeks, and people are wanting to fire everybody. People want to clamor and they want to trade every player. They want to trade this player, move on from that coach. They want everything to be changed. I actually found myself relatively calm after this weekend. Now, let me say this. Yesterday's game was unacceptable. When you have a 3-0 lead, I don't care if it's against the Rockies. I don't care if it's against the Twins or the Pirates or the Marlins. You should win that game, especially when you're going into the 6th inning with a 3-0 lead. In the 6th, 7th, and 8th, well, the Dodgers put up 13 runs, and it was an ugly 13 runs in yesterday's game. The earlier issues from this season, when the Nationals had great starting pitching, legit a top 10 staff at one point during this season, as far as numbers go, you had the bullpen come in and they were on a historically bad pace. That problem arose in Game 3 of the Dodgers series. And the Nationals had a serious shot of winning 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. If the Nationals won 2 of 3 against Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max, all the other studs that the Dodgers have, you would be thrilled. You would have to be thrilled. But that's not the case. The Nationals ultimately blew the game. The bullpen came in. It disappointed. And it you-know-what in the bed. That's what happened. That part was frustrating. But also, I still find myself as this big takeaway. There's a couple big takeaways from the series. We'll get to them. My number one here is that the Nationals just are not a very good team. And this might not be that surprising to some of you out there. But when you're in LA, going up against all this superstar-filled team, the way that the Dodgers have built this thing from day one, I cannot really sit here and yell about losing a series against one of the better teams in all of baseball. One of the better teams of this decade. The defending World Series champions. I am not going to sit here and say the Nationals should have won this series. Could they have? Absolutely. Should they have won yesterday's game? Probably. But you're going up against the best team in baseball, guys. And yesterday, yeah, that was frustrating. So let's jump into it. Dalton Rushing. He might be my new Jurickson Profar. That random player that you're just like, I hate that guy. In the 6th inning of yesterday's game, when the Nationals had that 3-0 lead, Soroka gets pulled, which was a pretty questionable decision. And let's be honest here. He probably should not have been pulled. I've seen people discuss this on many different lengths at this point. And yeah, as Michael Soroka, at least during this season, as he has gotten deeper into ball games, that's when he starts to get himself in a little bit of trouble. But at what point in time does Davey Martinez finally let him off his collar and finish through the 6th inning? Because that's been something I think a lot of people have been waiting for. And yes, we can talk about the numbers. We can talk about the ERA in that 6th inning and as he gets deeper into games. I'm all for protecting your pitchers, but at what cost? And what's your decision? And if you are going to pull Michael Soroka, are you going to go to Jose Ferrer? And they went to Jose Ferrer. And that's when things got bad. I thought Soroka looked really good in yesterday's start, but I keep on wanting more. I keep on wanting more from Michael Soroka, and I keep on looking at Davey Martinez in particular and say, why don't you leave him out there for that 6th inning? And why is there not a better plan than having Jose Ferrer go out there? Cole Henry had not pitched all series long. He is your best arm. In a bases jam situation, you would think to go to your best arm, and that is Cole Henry. And the Nationals did not do that. That is where Davey Martinez failed as a manager. That is where Davey Martinez has to be better. In that situation, what are you thinking about? Because we all know this about Ferrer at this point. Jose Ferrer has been wildly inconsistent at times. We all know that. We've all seen that all season long. I thought Jose Ferrer would be an all-star this season, but he has proven to be, at least for right now, that he is not the consistent piece that we've all expected him to be. But in yesterday's game, you don't go to Cole Henry. You don't go to your number one bullpen guy. Davey, that's wrong. That's where you have to step in and finally put your foot down and say, look at the scoreboard. We have a 3-0 lead here. I know you said that, well, it's the bottom of the lineup there, which he did say in his post-game presser, but you have to win the game first. And you know this better than anyone, being a former player, which you have stated many times over these past few weeks, that you understand the game. And it does not matter if it's the bottom of the lineup in a 3-0 game with bases loaded, you go to Jose Ferrer. So it has not been consistent whatsoever. At all. That is where Davey Martinez has a big issue. And as we saw it did not play well out for them. And unfortunately, I think that's why the Nationals lost yesterday's game, which ultimately led them to losing the series in LA. The Nats had a real chance. Unfortunately, I think managerial blunders there, like we just talked about the last few minutes, is why the Nationals found themselves in this situation of losing against the Dodgers. On the flip side of the coin of this, if the Nationals came out of LA winning 2 of 3 after losing 11, 12 straight games, however many games it was at this point, almost getting swept by the Rockies, that would have been a big story in town. Now, I'm not saying that people would be talking about the World Series or October baseball again. I think that's a pretty far ask for this Nats team at this point. But we would be happy. It would probably settle down some of the nerves of people talking about having Davey Martinez be fired. It would probably be settle the nerves of having everybody traded away, and some of the people out there who I continually see them talking about trading Mackenzie Gore. It ain't going to happen at this point in time. It's not going to happen, and it will not happen down the road. At least I hope not. But man, baseball is a weird sport, guys. It just is. And at times it goes your way. At times managerial decisions will go your way. At times they'll go right up against you. And yesterday in game 3 of the series with a 3-0 lead in the later half of the game, a managerial decision did not help the Washington Nationals. You did not go to your A bullpen guy. So Davey, let this be not only a message, but just something to learn from. Go to your A guy. Go to your A piece in the bullpen with a lead against the Dodgers, against the best team in baseball in LA, one of the best environments to play in front of. Simply go to your A guy and win the game. I'm not saying Jose Ferrer is some bust of a bullpen piece here, but you go to your A guy and you go to win that game. Because yesterday was not a winning strategy, and as it came out, it was a losing strategy. That's just simply what happened in the ball game yesterday. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day. Next, let's get into a Nats stock report. Who has been up and who has been down? We'll talk about all of that and more after I tell you about our friends at Wonderful Pistachios. And are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. And Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts, and each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. And perfect grab and go snack because I'm always on the move, whether I'm coming home from the gym and I need a snack and a good little protein punch. Wonderful Pistachios is that for me. Or if I'm at work sitting at the office and I need a snack, Wonderful Pistachios is that snack for me because it's got all the essentials that you would want, all 9 essential amino acids, and also it's a perfectly packed protein punch for all my lifters out there. For people who just need protein, which is everybody, this is perfect for you. So get snacking and get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. So we get into a Nats stock report, whose stock has been up and whose stock has been down. And I want to talk about this stock up real quick because we did not mention a big weekend for this particular Nationals. And we have been hard on him. We've been hard on a couple of these guys who cracked this list. They start up, they stock up for Nathaniel Lowe. 3 home runs against the Dodgers. He had a 2 home run game yesterday. And he actually 2 home run game 2 days ago, and he had another home run to add in yesterday's ball game. And Nathaniel Lowe is quietly starting to heat up with 13 home runs on the season. And there's been a lot of debate about where Nathaniel Lowe is. I don't think anything is written in pen at this point on whether Nathaniel Lowe is going to be a future piece or not. I don't know if he's going to be a trade piece, but I can tell you this. He has been really good as of late. And over his last 6 games in particular, he has 7 RBIs, he has 6 hits, a 792 slug with 4 home runs, and he's batting .250. I have always said this, so I'm going to stay consistent. I need my power hitters to hit for power. Nathaniel Lowe is one of our power bats. He is hitting for power. He may not be getting the extra base hits like the doubles and the triples, but he certainly is getting that home run total back up. 13 home runs right around I think we're at 78 games at this point in time. I believe so. Yes, we're at 78 games. So right around the halfway point. He is right around pace for about 26 to 28 home runs this season. And maybe if he has a really hot second half, could push that 30-plus home run total. That would be big for the Nationals because we just need power. And we talked about it this offseason, which the Nationals, one of their biggest needs for this season was to add to power, which they have done. James Wood, I mean, he's a superstar at this point. He certainly helps in that category. But also, Nathaniel Lowe has helped in that department. So shout out to Nathaniel at times because I like Lowe. I think Lowe is a solid hitter, but I think he's really inconsistent. And ultimately, I think the jury's still out on him. And we are not 100% sure of what the future is for Nathaniel Lowe. But as of recent, he's been hitting for power kudos to him because the Nationals, they have needed that boost in a big way, and he has provided that for the Washington Nationals. Now it gets to a stock down for a guy that was a Dodger, Ryan Lotus. 6 earned runs in 5 appearances. He got rocked yesterday. I'm done. I'm okay. We are A-okay at this point in time. Listen, I get why the Nationals are taking an opportunity on this guy. He has talent. David Martinez has raved about his changeup. It's a solid changeup. But as we saw, it's really not that effective. And 5 earned runs yesterday with the walk, and he did not record an out. That came in for Cole Henry to come in with the mop-up duty in a bases jam situation. He now has a 14 ERA with the Washington Nationals, and I'm good. That's it. No more. Move on from him. We saw this yesterday, and I think this is kind of just goes to show you the situation the Nats are in. Anthony Banda, 31 years old. The Nationals DFA'd him a few years ago. And, well, for the Dodgers, he has just turned into one of their best bullpen pieces from the left side. The southpaw is incredible. And Lotus is not that. He's not a southpaw, but still, it just kind of goes to show you the difference of the organizations at this point in time. I understand why you take a chance on a 26-year-old who has had some success here and there. Last year at the Cardinals was kind of in their minor league system, got picked up by the Dodgers this offseason, and ultimately got DFA'd and now picked up by the Nationals, but I'm good on this. The Nationals, they are not the team to figure out these bullpen pieces, so if it's not going to work with the Dodgers, it's probably not going to work here. So stock down for Ryan Lotus. Stock up for second baseman Luis Garcia Jr. He is riding a 6-game hit streak. He has hits in 11 of his last 12 games, and his Jude has been insane for that. Really good. He's got a couple of home runs, and he's starting to look like the more confident Garcia from last year. And we talked a lot about this earlier on this season with the struggles early on for Garcia, but he is starting to put up some really impressive numbers so far. Right now, you would think that Garcia, just kind of based on the quiet season he has had, that Garcia would be hitting like around 230 with like a 690 OPS. He has quietly worked his way back up into really good numbers. He's batting 271 with a 741 OPS. And last year, coming off a career season, which he was a legit premier offensive second baseman in baseball, he had a 762 ops with a 271 batting average. All right, with a 282 batting average, rather, excuse me, and a 271 batting average this season. And this goes after all he has done all season long was really struggle. But as soon as the month turned into June, Garcia has turned into a completely different hitter with a completely different approach, not chasing as much, and is looking like the player that we saw from 2024, who we all thought broke out and may have gotten an extension. But Garcia has been really good so far, so kudos to him. He has been riding this hot streak, a 6-game hit streak, hits in 11 of his last 12, getting some extra base in there, and hopefully cleaning up some defense as well. And now we get to a stock down for another bullpen guy, Jackson Rutledge. I was really high on Jackson Rutledge earlier this season. When the Nationals originally had him in the bullpen, I was kind of like, okay, like this might work, I guess. Like we've seen him down in the minors for quite some time. It did not work out as a starter. So I was like, I mean, it might work out as a reliever. Well, it really has not. And over his last 10 innings pitched, he has given up 5 home runs. He gave up another home run yesterday against the Dodgers. He has given up just a ton of hits so far. 14 hits in 10 innings pitched. He's only walked 2 batters in the last 10 innings, but only struck out 4. He's just not an effective pitcher at this point. He is not an effective bullpen piece. His whip has risen to a 1.56, which is putrid on the season, and it just has not been the best run for Jackson Rutledge. After feeling like he figured it out, he clearly has not. So he's stocked down for Jackson Rutledge. He is out of the circle of trust officially at this point in time. And the Nationals, they got to figure out something with this bullpen, because I'm not saying it's going back to earlier this season when they were literally the worst bullpen in baseball and one of the worst bullpens to start out a season in MLB history. But Jackson Rutledge, he's not helping the case at this point, and he is hurting the Washington Nationals. So a stock down for him. Stock up for our homegrown superstar, the guy, James Wood. Do you know that he is roughly around a 43 home run pace at this point in time? Let me just tell you this. He's 22 years old in his first full season. I've been kind of holstering this take for a while now. And if you've made it this far, and if you're my boss, Jeff Carr, I'm sorry. For the people who always rave about Elly De La Cruz, no, this is the guy to rave about. James Wood, 6'7", stud defensively in left field, has one of the biggest power strokes in all of baseball at this point. Can hit it anywhere and everywhere, and has just some of the best numbers on the season. And he is 22 years old. We talk about potential all the time. We talk about ceiling all the time. And guys, like, if they reach their ceiling, what will this team look like? If this guy can hit for power, what will his numbers look like? James has taken the if out of it because he has done it. This guy is a superstar. And the days that go by that we do not mention his name, and the minutes and the seconds that go by that we don't think about how good and how special James Wood is, we are taking advantage of this. James Wood does not come around every year. It might not even come around every decade. In fact, he might be one of the most rare players that I have seen wear the Nationals uniform. I have seen Bryce Harper. I have seen a young Steven Strasburg. I have seen a prime Max Scherzer, and I have seen a Juan Soto. But there is one James Wood. There just is. This guy is so special, and I'm tired of not talking about him every second of every single day. And I think with the losing streak that the Nationals just kind of got over, it was tough to talk about him because, again, the walls were caving in on the Nationals. There were managerial rumors of maybe David Martinez getting fired, maybe the Nationals shaking up their staff. There was a lot to talk about. But James Wood is a superstar, is a stud, the face of this organization, should be an all-star starter. And genuinely speaking, him being ninth or whatever in all the outfielder votes in the National League, get rid of this system. He has to be the starting left fielder in the all-star game. He is one of the best outfielders in all of baseball. And defensively, enough talking about him being bad defensively. This guy is good defensively in left field. This time last year, we were talking about him not really being a fit there, but right now, this guy belongs. And he has been everything that the Nationals have asked for. On a nearly 45 home run pace, who knows what the limit is for this guy? Could he have a 60 home run season? Definitely. Could he have 50 home runs? Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. This guy is special, and we have to talk about him more. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen. Next, let's get into a Padres series preview because San Diego has been a weird place for the Washington Nationals over the last few seasons. We'll discuss that after we tell you guys about some of our very good friends at FanDuel. And summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. And I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups like tonight with the Nationals and the Padres. James Wood, CJ Abrams, and Mackenzie Gore make their return to San Diego, the team that traded them away. Well, guess what? James Wood anytime home run, CJ Abrams 2+ hits, and on Wednesday with Mackenzie Gore in the bump, you know I'll be on FanDuel getting that revenge game in there. But tonight, I've got an anytime home run for James Wood and CJ Abrams to record 2+ hits. It's that much fun. And of course, don't forget their fun promotions. And right now, If you are new to FanDuel, well, new FanDuel customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. A weird place for the Nationals to be in. If there is a time where I kind of sit there to myself and think, I do not want to go there, it's San Diego. For whatever reason out there. I don't know why, but the Nationals, if they are in San Diego, bad vibes. Bad vibes. In 2021, that was like the downfall of the Nationals. They were kind of on that losing skid. Coven was going through the clubhouse again. And then Max Scherzer, who was our most consistent guy, the Hall of Famer for this team, he got rocked in San Diego. And that was when the walls caved in, all the 2021 Nats. And it was actually right around this time that season. Well, fast forward to last year, the Nationals were hot. They were going to San Diego. And I remember we were saying, just kind of like we said about a month ago, like if the Nats beat the Cubs or if they beat the Rangers, we'd be talking about a playoff team here in town. Well, last year was similar, where the Nationals were playing really good baseball. They were hot. They were pitching well. The offense was looking good. And then Jerks and Profar happened. And then David Martinez's bad managerial decisions happened. And then the Padres just whooped up on the Nationals for a few straight days. And it was ugly. And right now, the Nationals, you're not going up against Jerks and Profar, so that's good. But I got a worst case scenario for you. You're going up against a red-hot Manny Machado and a guy which plays with fire in his hair, and it's not fun to play against a red-hot Manny Machado. He is batting over 300. He's probably having one of his best seasons of his career at this point in time. I'm not feeling great about this series for a couple different reasons. Number one, as we were just saying, the Nationals do not play well in San Diego. Plain and simple, that's step number one. Reason why number two, well, the Nationals, they have won, 2 games over the last 2+ weeks at this point in time? You don't feel good about that. You do not feel good about that going against San Diego, who, by the way, they've been good, but they've had better seasons. And really, this is kind of one of their worst seasons to date so far the past few years. But when you play them tonight, the way that we expect them to kind of throttle the Nationals at this point, but they're only 7 games above 500. Now, I would kill to be in that situation. The Nationals are not, but still. This is going to be a really tough series, and it's not going to be easy pitching matchups either. Like tonight, you're going to get Steven Kolek, who's been kind of one of their breakout guys from last season who was in the bullpen. They weirdly, again, this is such an AJ Preller move. They move him as a starter. In his first 9 starts, he's got a 3.6 ERA, 52 2/3 innings pitched. Was only giving up 5 home runs in his 9 starts also. It's just one of those things where the Padres, they can get away with this, but a team like the Nationals, they cannot. But we'll see what the Nationals can do. And ultimately, let's take 2 of 3. Why not? This is a team that has had your number for the last few seasons. Let's take advantage of them. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen. Happy Monday. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Enjoy some West Coast baseball. We'll talk to you on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.